If your history class glossed over why the Allies didn't race to Berlin, you're about to get a crash course in strategy and survival. By April 1945, the war in Europe was almost over. The Soviet Red Army is storming toward Berlin while the Western Allies advance from the west. But when the dust settled, it was the Soviets who took the Nazi capital. Why? The answer is simple. It wasn't worth it. By the time the Allies could have launched a serious assault, the Soviets were already at Berlin's doorstep. Any attempt to beat them there would have been a costly bloodbath. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied commander, saw no strategic value in taking a city that had already been promised to the Soviet sphere after the war. The Western Allies had already done their part, crushing German forces in the west and bombing Berlin into ruins. US and British bombers pounded the city day and night, softening it up for the inevitable Soviet assault. The Red Army, eager for vengeance after years of brutal war, fought their way through the streets, block by block, in some of the most intense urban combat of the war. Inside his bunker, Adolf Hitler clung to delusions of last-minute miracles. Even as Soviet artillery reduced Berlin to rubble, he believed the Western Allies might turn on Stalin and join Germany against the Soviets. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Hitler's dreams died with him in that bunker. By May 2nd, Berlin's defenders surrendered, though scattered German forces kept fighting, desperately trying to reach the Western Front to avoid Soviet capture. For many Soviet soldiers, this was their first time outside the USSR, and what they saw shocked them. Germany, even in ruins, looked wealthier than their homeland. Anger and resentment boiled over, shaping the harsh occupation that followed. In the end, the Western Allies didn't take Berlin because they didn't need to. The city was doomed, and fighting for it would have been a waste of lives. Eisenhower played it smart, letting Stalin take the prize, along with all the chaos that came with it. Stay curious, folks.